Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome back everybody, let's update our win on gold market. So here is on the daily charts once again an illustration whether to anticipate of the grabbers or not anticipate when you're taking the position, and actually it explains why Judd Napoli usually recommend to not anticipate the completion and confirmation of the pattern, because if you remember in the beginning of the last session when we have prepared this update, market was right there near the top, and it's clearly seemed that grabber probably will be formed, but at the end of the session you can see that market just turns down, shows the retracement, and actually we've got no grabber. In fact, this is actually brings no bad consequences to overall trading plan that we discussed, but here's we have the -1 among the patterns that we could trade, and we will have to search for something else. So the major drivers that might happen until the end of the week, we suggest that it will be the personal consumption expenditures. So I talked about this already in a report to the euro currency. It's because 2 moments to that market will be watching there. It's consumption. Because last data on consumption was really poor. So this could bring some more clarity on why Fed actually has changed the gross domestic product forecast to the downside, inflation to the upside. So this combination usually is typical for a stagflation situation. In drop of the consumption again, it's might increase the investors' fears that the recession is already here. Although it is already here for 3 years approximately, but it was significantly manipulated. The data was significantly manipulated, as you know, or let's call it as adjusted, so that under the big spending on the budget and with the different stimulus of the economy, the recession was hidden and artificially given the positive gross domestic product. But for now, more drop in the consumption will make investors to be worried about the recession. And second, which is as usual for personal consumption expenditures, inflation data. So if numbers will be low, then obviously support the gold, or better to say will hurt the dollar, and we could get necessary driving factor for possible upward continuation even without the grabber that we discussed. Meantime, for now it seems that we could deal only with this pattern that we have on the follow time frame chart. Yes, overall performance doesn't look really impressive. The situation might change in opposite direction, so it theoretically could fail. But for now, until these lows stand, potential chances for existence of this butterfly holds. So from that standpoint of view, following this pattern is currently possible. On the hourly chart, I do not see something really special. So yesterday we already mentioned rising lows with the same top, indicating that bullish pressure is growing, because every time market is pulling down at a smaller distance than on the previous pullback. So here was big drop, then the same pullback. After this test, pullback already was lower, and here's once again. So it might be even smaller. But in general, on this chart, is the only thing that is important is the range of this candle, because all following performance you can see inside of this range. And what's really important here is direction of the breakout. Currently it seems that market is preparing for upward challenge, and personal consumption expenditures might become the factor that will let gold out of this range. If this will happen, then the things that we discussed yesterday, with the possible return back to the top or even completion of the butterfly target around 30.73 will become possible. But let's see. So to make the bullish context valid and work properly, market has to go out of this range to the upside. If by some reason this will not happen, and actually market will still calling here or start dropping back down, and that will be negative sign, and increased chances that probably retracement will be deeper, and it's not yet time for upward continuation in gold. So let's see what will happen on today's consumption expenditures report, and whether we will get the upside breakout here on hourly chart above this range, above the 30, 37, 34 area. Although indirectly this price action will suggest that it seems that sentiment stands positive. So we just need to get this factor and see what will happen.